our synergy bonus.
The bonus. The better part of the package.
We're the better? I don't want to see the worse half.
That's next week.
All right. Welcome back. If you're not familiar with our particular little program, we're a bunch of guys who get together, get drunk, and talk about gaming. Video games, board games, tabletop RPGs, pencil and paper, you name it.
Not mobile games.
Those aren't really games. They're time wasters.
They are.
There's only one I'll talk about.
There's two I'll talk about.
But we're
not talking about them. Except we're going to talk about... We'll get to it.
We're today. Not, but we are.
It's today.
But we won't. But we will. But we might. But we're not going to.
Just something that was mentioned about mobile. Okay. We're talking about Turtles 2 today.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Yes. Both on the arcade cabinet and the NES.
Entertainment System. 1989 and 1990, respectively.
This is a Konami title, and we've been beating up Konami quite a bit lately.
Pachinko-making motherfuckers.
Thank you, Hideo Kojima.
This particular Turtles is my first exposure into the beat-em-up genre, and it was. I never played Golden Axe. I never experienced it at the time.
Double Dragon.
I played this before Double Dragon.
Okay.
River City Rampage.
Ransom.
I played this before that, so this was my first exposure into it, and
well, we're glad you were exposed to it, and somebody exposed them to you.
However, at that age, you might have needed Chris Hansen.
It does kind of explain the turtles in the trench coats all the time.
But yeah, this game defined childhoods. It really did.
Also defined back in the day Nintendo Hard.
Yes.
Despite the Nintendo version being the easier version.
It's true. I've mentioned, I think, in our other Turtles video,
probably,
that it took me, I believe like $25 and change to beat the arcade game. Because I have it on the Xbox, and anytime I died, I'm like 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents. Marked it down, totaled it, and like...
Except every time you put in 25 cents, you got 2 lives, so...
Well, yeah. But like, every time it's, would be to insert coin,
every time you need a new continue.
Yes. So, it takes a lot on the arcade.
It was designed to. It was designed to relieve you of all your hard-earned quarters.
Yes.
But also give you fun.
The NES one was a little more forgiving,
also
but it was longer, and it did have you with the 2 lives, and I think there was only a couple continues, or else you had to start back at the beginning. But this being the early video game era,
up, down, left, right, BA, start, select.
Yes, but no.
But yes, but no. There's gonna be a lot of this episode.
It was a variation of the Konami code for this. It was BA, up, down, BA, left, right, BA. Select start if you're playing 2 players. That would give you 10 lives and a level select. It was a variant on the Konami code.
I select the turbo tunnel.
And there's some games where if you put the wrong Konami code in, you died.
It gives you a hard mode.
Or it just outright kills you.
That's neat.
I forget which game that was.
But, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, as we said, this is a beat-em-up.
Side-scrolling beat-em-up, yeah. One of the earliest, in fact.
Mm-hmm. The arcade cabinet allowed
also
for...
pioneered real-time 4-player strategy.
It was one of the first 4-player co-op ones, and I remember going to the arcades back in the day and people putting their quarters up to hop into a spot when someone died if they didn't have quarters there already. It was...
something contemporary kids will never know.
It was a sight. It really was. This thing was a hot commodity back in the day. It really was. And when you could take it home on the NES, it just blew up. Do we have an NP or a Nintendo Power Charts rating?
Yeah, nothing from Nintendo Power. Games Radar ranked this as the 25th best NES game ever made. They also accredited the existence of this game as with the longevity of the Ninja Turtles as a franchise. I question that, just because there are whole new generations of Turtle fans now who've never played this and aren't even aware that it's a thing. So,
the NES version has 2 more stages. Two more
stages, and about half of the original stages have been extended.
Yes, that's very true. Because
they also replaced the boss fight where you fight Rocksteady and Bebop at the same time with Baxter in his fly form.
Yep. The 2 extra stages that they give you are a New York City with the weather control thing.
The Snowfield.
Yep.
Is what they refer is the actual name of the stage.
It's one of my favorite stages actually, and the boss that you fight in there, I believe it's
Polar bear, I think.
It's a rat.
Oh,
His name is Dirtbag, and I think he was made specifically for the game.
May very well have been. They were cranking out mutants like nobody's business back then.
And the second stage that they included was this basically like a dojo style thing, and the boss of it was a shogun, and
Robot Shogun. Actually.
His head would come off and attack you. It was
which really seems to me like a little love letter homage to the Mecha Turtle at the end of the city stage in Ninja Turtles 1. See previous video.
Also, some Castlevania games where Dracula's head would fly off and attack.
Yep.
Yeah.
This game featured Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter in human form, Baxter in fly form, both Stone Warriors.
Yep, the 2 generals.
Like I said, Dirtbag and the Shogun.
Sure.
And I believe that was it until you get to the Technodrome.
Shredder.
Where you fight Krang and Shredder.
Krang's robot body and Shredder, yep.
Shredder was unique because when he would come out, there would be a clone of him. And you knew if you were beating up the clone, his helmet would fly off much faster, and the clone would die, and he would spread another clone. If you were beating up on the normal Shredder, that helmet wasn't coming off, and when it finally did, you knew he was just about ready to die. And this is one of those games where enemies were ready to die, something happened, they would flash red and whatnot, and it was good. It was very good.
It's good times.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. You have the choice, depending on the setup you're getting into. If it's the 2-player or the 4-player version, you get to select one of the turtles, or in a lot of the arcade cabinets, the turtle you went was predetermined by which joystick you went to.
Yep, I remember that. And
the turtles had different strengths and weaknesses. Donatello was much slower than everybody else, but he had a much longer reach that did much more damage, a continuing trend, again, from the previous game. Raph and Mike were much faster with shorter reaches, and Leo was, once again, your balanced character.
As I stated in the original Turtles, I never really touched Raph because of his short reach and whatnot.
Raph doesn't like to be touched.
Raph is my go-to turtle here. On the NES, if you press the jump and the attack button at the same time, you would do a special attack, and it kills your Mook enemies in one hit.
Does some pretty good damage to your bosses, too.
Does pretty good damage to bosses. Enemies that take multiple hits go down much quicker, and it's nice.
And for 3 of the turtles, it's just this weird sort of jump thing. But Raph gets his own graphic where he spins along the ground and has like a slide kick at the end.
That is... I'm thinking that's for the actual arcade one. It's not for
that's what I'm familiar with.
It's not for the NES, but for the arcade he does. And actually, they do that special attack there for Turtles in Time.
Yep.
I think they kept most of the special attacks from the arcade game to Turtles in Time, which is nice. But in the NES version, everyone's got this just weird jump, hit them with both weapons, sort of thing. And then you got your jump kick, too. Which,
when in doubt, jump
kick.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit!
This game had Thank you, Travis.
This is why Usagi Yojimbo does not like them.
This game actually had a lot of environmental hazards. It had bowling ball. I call them bowling balls. They're big wrecking balls coming down the stairs.
Indiana Jones style.
You got like poster boards coming down. You got sewer holes. There's a lot of environmental interaction here, which is cool.
Mines on the snowfield.
Yep. The steamroller comes back actually in the snowfield stage. Product placement. This game had a lot of product placement too.
Huge product placement. Thank you for our sponsor, Pizza Hut.
And then again, it wouldn't be the Turtles without pizza.
It's true.
Yeah, but usually it's Domino's.
Yeah. But they got the rights to this and whatnot. And you were mentioning about the instruction booklet.
Oh yeah, the back of the instruction booklet. Now the game only hit shelves in America in early December of 1990, just in time for Christmas. But the back of the instruction booklet came with a coupon for a free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Say that 5 times fast. That expired on December 31st. So when you're unwrapping this Christmas morning, you've got 4 days to get down to Pizza Hut and get a pizza. But great promotional or cross-promotional marketing. You don't see that kind of stuff anymore.
This game also had a rich get richer aspect to it. If you're playing co-op, the person who killed more enemies benefits. Because if you kill 200 enemies, you get a free life. So in the arcade cabinet, if you're basically racing against other people to not have to spend quarters.
Which is the exact opposite strategy you want to adopt for a cooperational side-scrolling beat-em-up game, where you want to share the work in the hopes of mutual survival. Sort of a prisoner's dilemma kind of thing, really.
No. Unlike Turtles 1, Turtles 1 and like one of the Game Boy ones, maybe two of the Game Boy ones, are your platforming style ones. Every Turtles game that I've played since, and I think that has come out since, has been your side-scrolling beat-em-up.
With a two notable exceptions. The fighting games.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the 3D scrolling, or 3D beat-em-ups that came out
Still
for like the GameCube.
Still beat 'em up.
But it's 3D. Yeah, like I can sing praises about this game all day. We talked about the original Turtles in depth with its flaws and whatnot. There's not a whole lot of flaws with this. It was a well-crafted game, and
visually it hasn't aged all that well. At least the turtle sprites are.
The turtle sprites look like the turtles that they represent. April looks like April. Shredder look like Shredder.
Foot soldiers look like foot soldiers.
These foot soldiers are a little more competent than they have been in other games.
Or other renditions.
Skateboarding chick looks like a
Skateboarding chick looks like a skateboarding chick that you can freak out swinging your weapons at her.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the important thing is that the turtles look like the turtles. Take a note, Michael Bay.
Oh, please take a note, Michael Bay. I think that's done. I hope it's done.
No.
But if it's anything like Transformers, he's gonna kill it, resurrect it, kill it again.
Well, once again, he's not the guy in charge of that. He's just a producer. He's attached his name to the project, and that's about it. It's another guy who's doing stuff in his style. And, yeah.
This seems to be popular with people. Yeah, it's popular with people that don't like the original material.
Or never read it, or, don't get the part where the turtles are supposed to be 4 feet tall, not 8 feet tall.
As I said, I can't say enough praises about this game. Co-op, it's very, very good. It's well crafted.
Game shines with all 4 players, but you don't get that very often.
Yep. Greg and I agree that this is probably the best entry in the Turtles series, with the exception of, I think, maybe Turtles in Time. I really like Turtles in Time.
I've never actually played Turtles in Time.
Oh, it's good.
We'll have to remedy that.
We will have to remedy that. It takes about 23 minutes to beat.
If you know what you're doing.
But I know Trav sings praises about the first game, and the first game has its place. It does. They're two very different games,
and it's a personal preference. I'll take a platformer over a beat 'em up any day of the week.
And that's the thing. I do like platformers too, and I would love to see another platformer done in the 2D side-scrolling style.
Maybe 2D with the overhead style, or even have like 3D exploration elements when you're not in the sewer and building or whatever. That could be interesting. Unfortunately, with the properties that control the Turtles right now, and to Nickelodeon and all that, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't want to see a remake of this game.
Remastering, perhaps.
I don't want to see a remastering of the game.
No?
I prefer it the way it is, because the moment that they remaster it, they're going to be like, let's just change this here, and let's make some creative changes right here, and all of a sudden it's not the game you remember, and things are off. I'm thinking this has nothing to do with the Ninja Turtles, but it's remastering. They remastered the Crash Bandicoot games here recently for the PS4.
Yep.
And people are complaining that the jumping feels off. Jumping feels off because they changed the way the jumping works in that. Instead of having... I read the technical aspects.
Bear in mind, we drink before we talk. So.
Yeah, I'm drinking some Paraben Sprite. We didn't say what we're drinking here. That's what I'm doing. Not beer tonight.
He put the lime in the coconut and drink it.
It tastes like a beach. The way the character's foot originally was a flat surface, so when it landed, it was very flat. Now the foot has like a bevel to it, like it's not something that, but like the way the model is, so the character slides a little bit, so people are jumping, catching ledges, and sliding off into holes. That's artificial difficulty.
Yeah, that ain't right.
And that's a change that I don't want.
It was an unnecessary change.
It is an unnecessary
It did nothing
change.
to add to the gameplay.
And I feel like that's what they would do to this. Just something stupid along those lines.
It's like, well, we don't want to promote violence and guns, so we're going to take away Rocksteady's machine gun.
Oh, God.
What's he doing now? He's shooting his horn, because that's what rhinos do.
My brain went to a much more messed up place.
Well, now we know why you kidnapped April.
We said this was Konami, and they're not. I mean, you said rights and everything. I don't foresee seeing another Konami Turtles or anything like that. And,
Actually, I wonder if they still have I mean, they have the rights to this one because they made it, but like future installments in Ninja Turtle.
I think they've been going with a THX or something like that.
You actually mentioned something about the Wii.
Oh, they there was a plan to re-release this game, or a ROM of it rather, for the Wii Shop on the Nintendo Wii, and for whatever reason we were unable to find out why. It very quietly was taken away and discontinued, and it never made the port, which is a shame because
it is a very
I can just imagine all of the 30-somethings rushing to their Wii's to spend the
$5 to
download
play this game. I mean,
yeah,
because it beats the $25 to play it in the arcade.
I don't remember how much it actually cost on Xbox Live. I mean, I think it might have been like 10, maybe 15. It was a while ago that I bought it. I don't play the 360 very much anymore at all.
Which is exactly how Microsoft wants it.
I also don't have an Xbox One, so.
Which is not how Microsoft wants it.
So,
but it's exactly how PlayStation wants it.
So, yeah, I would rate this game. I won't give it a 10 out of 10, but I will give it at least a 9.5.
I'd go ahead and give it 8 spoonies.
Greg?
9 out of 10.
You've rated it the better Turtles game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad game by any means. I just like the first one better.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, did you guys have any fond memories of this game? Have you ever played this game? Better yet, and
are you in fact a hero in a half shell?
If you plan on playing this game, let us know how your experience went. A generation missed out on this, and the beat 'em up genre is. I wouldn't say
it's in traction.
Yeah, it's not dead, but it's not.
They sent it off to hospice.
You've got people like I can't think of the name of the studio. They did River City Ransom Underground, which is the last beat 'em up that I can actively think of that came out. Before that,
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Charlie Murder.
I don't know Charlie.
Never heard of that.
It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's a fun one. It was I think it was an Xbox 360 exclusive. Which
that would be why.
But it's a bunch of sort of emo trenchcoat mafia kind of kids going off on this rampage, beating the shit out of jocks in their school for real and imagined slights.
Oh my!
So it's like Pico on Newgrounds.
It's a little bit. It's except not quite as bloody.
Oh god, that was a dated reference.
Yes, it was. Wow, you're an old man.
But they still have Pico Day, so
it's true.
Pico de Gallo.
I mean, there's more to it than that. Like, Charlie's in a band and he's mildly successful, and he has a rival who's jealous because he was originally Charlie's friend, and they had a falling out, and he kicked him out of the band. And he started his own band, who's not nearly as successful, so he keeps sending all these like jock minions after Charlie to, put an end to his band. And Charlie lives up to his name, Charlie Murder. And your 4 playable characters are the other bandmates and Charlie.
So you're totally not Sex Bob.
It's absolutely Scott Pilgrim ripoff. Absolutely. But unlike Scott Pilgrim, when I played Charlie Murder, I got a bunch of stuff for my avatar on Xbox.
Turtles 2, the arcade game. It's worth it.
It is. Absolutely is.
With that, have a good night.
Good night and good gaming.